Welcome back to Mantras of the Moment. Our guest today, Emmie Faust, is a growth strategist. She's had a career for 25 years and is the founder of Growth Collab. She's a mother of 4 living in London, a seriously busy woman who manages to juggle it all. Emmie, hi, lovely to see you. Thank you for being a guest on Mantras of the Moment.
Thank you so much, Debs. I don't know if I do manage to juggle it all. I do a good job of trying to keep it all under control because let's face it, there's a lot going on, isn't there? 4 kids, work, trying to make time for yourself and your family and everything else. It's intense.
Well, you look like you're doing a really, really good job. And I know we're all winging it. All of us are winging it. But I think, hats off. I'm a member of Growth Collab. I'm absolutely loving it. Can you start by telling our listeners a little bit about your job, your role?
Yes, I've got 2 different things that I'm doing because I like to mix it up and do lots of different things. I am co-founder of Growth Collab, which you're a member of, and I set that up during the pandemic to bring together women in marketing for sort of collaborations and strategic partnerships and to just sort of have fun and support each other. And that's grown, and now it's sort of women in marketing or freelancers, consultants, anyone that's doing a sort of service-based role like we both are, because it's just great to connect with other women who are doing great things and support each other and see what we can do together. So that's one of my little things I do, which I absolutely love. And the other thing that I do is what I've been doing for the last 20 years, which is growth. So marketing and business growth. I have been on Dragon's Den. I've set up, scaled and sold lots of businesses in the marketing and media space. And now I help other founders do the same. And I love that too. And so generally those are sort of early stage, but funded businesses. So they're like one stage beyond startup. They've got funding, they've got traction. And then I do have some clients that are more established and who've been going longer, and I've been brought in to sort of help with their digital and marketing growth.
Amazing. So in 25 years, you've seen obviously yourself change as a woman in business, but you've noticed obviously the industry that you're in transform, and none more so than these last 2 years, these 2 years which have thrown the whole planet upside down and back to front. When you've gone through difficult times yourself, personally, professionally, is there a mantra, a motto or a saying that you've used to get you through?
Well, I think there's a couple, aren't there? Because I mean, if we're talking about the last 2 years, there's probably something that's more relevant. I think, I've been doing what I do, what I love for the last 25 years. And I've got lots of mantras that I like I keep saying to my children, awaiting pleasure is pleasure itself. I got that off one of the little Barchi chocolates, how
oh yeah,
those little messages. But something that has really resonated, I think, more in the pandemic than ever is just to prioritize your well-being. Like you cannot be successful if you don't have your well-being. You can't be a good mom, you can't be a good friend. I mean, you're obviously trying, but it's just such a struggle and it's so hard. And when you're not firing on all cylinders, you don't have anything to give to anyone else. And if you're in pain or you're struggling mentally or any of those things, everything becomes so difficult. And I often see it with my clients as well. Like I just keep saying to them, when they're struggling to, prospective clients or people I've worked with, and they've got so many demands and they're struggling to sleep or feeling overwhelmed by it all, I'm just like, you've got to just pull back and prioritize your well-being, because if you have a breakdown, if you burn out, if any of those, or you get ill, your business and your family and everything is affected. It's like everything just topples over and you can't do anything. So for me, the top of the pyramid, the pinnacle of it all, is to be prioritizing your well-being so you feel amazing, so you can be strong, mentally fit, and obviously things are getting thrown at us all the time, aren't they? It's never going to be perfect, but you're more able to, I suppose, deal with those things.
Yeah, quite. And that is actually, I mean, I think for years we came from the conditioning that being prioritizing you was maybe a selfish thing. It was a self-indulgent thing. We are so culturally and generationally conditioned, but actually more than ever, the mental wellness of ourselves, our families, our colleagues, our friends has been really thrown into light, hasn't it, over this last 2 years? And, if you don't work, nothing else will. So you've got to put yourself together, and you don't even have to feel amazing. You just have to feel really aware that you've gone through the tick list, haven't you, of saying, okay, look at how I'm functioning, food, sleep, wellness, sociability. Am I connecting? Am I out there? And it's a bit of a checklist to go through.
I think that's one of the reasons that I set up Growth Collab, because when you work on your own, it is lonely, it's isolating. You can get really overwhelmed. You can have a bad call with someone, or someone can say, I don't need to work with you anymore. Or you can have an amazing discovery call and then someone just literally ghosts you. I mean, I've had a few of those recently, and you're like questioning yourself, like, why has that happened? And then when you come together with a collective and you're all going through the same things and you've all having shared experiences, it's so good for your mental health, because you don't have, when you're in an office and you have that, you could just go to the person sitting next to you and saying, oh, I've had a bit of a nightmare, someone's been, and you can have a chat and talk it through. And I think that you don't have that when you work on your own. And I think that's such an important thing, to have human connection, collaboration, to be part of something bigger is really important, I think, for our well-being. But like you said, also to be taking time for a walk, I'm not so great with boundaries because I love my work. So like for me, often my work is not my work. So I sometimes would rather do work, not work, but I don't know, learning or something in the evenings. But I try to be really aware of those boundaries, and probably not being on screens too late either, because
that's huge. Absolutely. And I think, we could all say by the time we've got into our 40s, of which we are, with children and running businesses, that, you've had times in your life where you've burnt out, where you've just tried to take on too much and you haven't been able to say no, and you haven't been able to implement or assert, you haven't been able to back off from things, and then you get poorly, and then, you have to learn the hard way. So it's the thing with my clients that I say right at the beginning, your self-care is absolutely paramount to me and our work together, because if we get that right, we're going to get a lot more right.
I totally agree. And last year I was in Wales, and I moved all of our family to Wales in May last year, and that was like, oh, that's my phone just crashing around over there. And I thought that was going to be this amazingly relaxing experience, outside in the green views, lots of walking. And actually, at the end of COVID and the end of the pandemic and everything that I've been through with my family and the move, actually, and uplifting, upsticks my whole family, the mental pressure on me for that. And I did like burnout or breakdown or whatever you call it. I literally could not cope with anything, and I couldn't get out of bed, and I had lots of horrible mental and physical things going on with me, which I just couldn't understand what it was. It was also hormones as well, like we're getting to that age. It was a perfect storm of long COVID, hormones, stress, and it left me unable to do anything, unable to be the mum I want to be. My husband had to take a week of work to look after me and the family. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to see my friends. I didn't even really want to phone my good friends, because I didn't want to be that person. I just felt awful. And I found my work, even though I continued with my work and I still did really good work, it was so draining on me to get the output that normally I can get like that. My work normally comes to me very easily. And my work was getting really, really hard. So, we moved back to London, and all I've taken from that is like, I never want to be in that situation again. I never want to feel like my mental health is, unstable. Not, maybe unstable is the right word, but sort of like weak. I felt weak in my body and my mind. And I think that's from putting too much, that's just the pandemic, isn't it? We've all been struggling, putting too much pressure, the pressure of the move, the pressure of, everything that happened over the last 12 months. But, that's why I'm like, all I care about is my well-being, because I just want to have a good time and have fun and lead a joyous life and enjoy being with my children.
Exactly.
And my friends.
And finding out what makes you well is a very personal journey. I think, we can read a lot, We can sign up to a lot of classes. And actually, you know, when you strip it all back, your well-being is quite simple. And I think you just have to get really quiet to know what it is that keeps you in some kind of synthesis, some kind of balance from season to season, year to year, chapter to chapter. And it does change. Okay, so I need to wrap this up. But let me ask you, in these last 2 years, obviously there's been a huge shift for us all. What would you say has been the biggest shift for you taking out of the coming out of the pandemic, both personally or professionally and professionally?
Well, I think that's the main thing is just to prioritize your health, and that is the only thing that's important. That's one thing. And the other thing is just the work that I do. I'm much more focused on almost doing that SWOT analysis. What am I really good at? What is my, you know, what comes to me so easily? What do I love doing? What is it that I can literally do with my eyes closed and deliver huge amounts of value for clients, rather than trying to do everything, which I could do, and I could do it really well. There's one piece of work that I can do, the top level strategy and plan with the marketing tactics and the budget, which is so valuable for early stage businesses, and in fact established businesses, because they haven't done it, and it will save them loads of time and money. I can do that really easy, really quickly, and I can give them clarity. And that's what I found out, and it's great. And I love it.
That's amazing. So, you know, in a way, hearing that 25 years behind you, if you simplify it and you really hone into what your niche is and you deliver that really, really well, rather than doing everything in a watered down fashion, you have again retained and regained your time back, your space, your well-being. So it's all about tuning in. Thank you. I'm going to wrap it up because these are short and sweet, these recordings, but I've loved seeing you and hearing from you. Prioritize your well-being. What an amazing first message to have on Mantras of the Moment. Thank you, Ems. Great to see you.
Thank you, lovely Debs. I've loved being part of it.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.